Hello, my crafty friends. Well, if you're like me, you're getting ready for fall. So I thought I would share some different floral arranging ideas on a budget that look like they came from a high-end store. To get started, I wanted to show you a couple of things that I found at Pottery Barn and Crate and Barrel. These are really high-end looking floral arrangements that definitely have a fall theme, but they're also really expensive. So I decided to check out Hobby Lobby and see what I could find and what I could make. And I found a lot of different florals, and of course they're 40% off right now. And right now they have a lot of different picks and stems, and some of them have multiple things on them. So like I was able to find ones with pumpkins and also some raffia, and I don't know what those little white balls are called, but I really like those, especially for fall. And I know they have these really cute little owls at Dollar Tree right now, but I saw this one and I really wanted him, so I did go ahead and buy that. I found some other things too, like this pumpkin mug. I got some new paint brushes because they were really affordable. And I found this awesome peppermint bark candle. And I'm not a huge candle fan, but oh my gosh, this smells so delicious. And I will be using that in my Christmas decorating this year. I also found some really pretty different ribbons, and I stocked up on a few more paints that I know I'm going to be needing for a lot of upcoming fall projects. So this is kind of like a little tiny Hobby Lobby haul. I found all kinds of things and I just wanted to share them with you. I love it when I find things on sale at Hobby Lobby. So these are all of the different picks and sprays that I'm going to be using for my project. Now the larger ones, these were actually a really great deal. But to get started, I wanted to have something that my centerpiece can sit on so I can easily move it. And I had this scrap piece of wood. And I'm not sure what species of wood it is, but I did go ahead and sand down the edges because I wanted to make sure the edges were kind of rounded off and all sanded, so no splinters will be happening. And once I had everything sanded down, I came back with some gel stain. Now I got this gel stain at Hobby Lobby too. It's also very affordable and it's really great for projects like this. So I just painted the stain onto my piece of wood. I made sure to paint all areas of the top as well as all of the sides. And I made sure to put a pretty heavy coat of the stain onto the wood. And then the secret is I let it set for probably about 10 minutes before I came back to wipe off the excess stain. And one key factor to keep in mind if you're going to be doing this, when you're wiping away the stain, if you use a lint-free cloth, that is going to give you the best results. And once it was dry, I came back with some little felt feet, and I actually got these at Dollar Tree. So I'm going to secure a felt pad to each corner of the bottom of this riser or piece of wood. And not only does it make it easier to move, but I don't have to worry that I'm going to inadvertently scratch my dining room table or any other wood surface that I might put this arrangement on. Now my wood is all ready for my flowers, and these are going to be the main part of my floral arrangement, and these were so affordable. So once I take the price tag off, you can see they're $18.99 a piece, but keep in mind they're 40% off. So that is a fantastic deal if you want to make something look really high-end for your decorating, or if you wanted to give it as a gift. Now my advice would be don't cheap out on these flowers. That's usually what I do, and I'm just gonna buy the little stems and I'm going to make something fabulous. That never happens. So I did go ahead and buy these more expensive pieces because then I don't have to buy so many extra pieces to go along with it. And I use my Husky nipping tools to clip away some of that excess length of each of these stems. And then I just played around to figure out how I was going to have them fit onto the board. Next, I took a stapler and starting with one of the larger stem pieces, I secured that to the board. This board was really hard to work with, a lot harder than, say, if it was just a pine board. So once I had the first pick in place, then I just put the other pick in place and then secured that to the board with my staple gun as well. And I mainly focused on the long end where there wasn't any floral stems or the pumpkins because it makes it easier to secure it to the board. And see, even like that, that's not horrible. Now, I did get these picks from Hobby Lobby as well, and I got them mainly for the pumpkins. I really like those pumpkins. I think they're so pretty. And I believe each of these picks was $5.99 before the 40% off. But again, I just want the pumpkins for right now. So what I'm going to do is cut down the long piece that the pumpkin is attached to on both of these white pumpkins. I don't want to cut it too short. I do want to make sure I have enough that I can secure the pumpkin to my arrangement. So I'm going to remove that wire stem, and then using my staple gun, I secured it in place on the board. So the white pumpkins are going to go on either side of the orange pumpkins. Now, if you're going to be doing this project, please be careful and make sure that you are using the stapler correctly so you don't end up stapling your finger to your flower arrangement. And this stapler is actually really nice. I got this on Amazon and I thought it was a little bit, chintzy, but it actually is a very good stapler. It's electric, so I just push a button and it staples. And it's rechargeable. So I just put in the USB cable and then I can connect it to an outlet in the wall and it will recharge it relatively quickly. And once I had that bottom piece down for the pumpkin, then I just put the pumpkin back onto the wire stem. Now I don't really want to see the staples that are holding all of the pieces together and onto the board. So I'm going to take apart the rest of the pick that those pumpkins came on, and I'm just going to use my hot glue gun and I'm going to secure those little individual pieces so that it's covering everything that's open on my arrangement. And look at how easy this is. I've basically got two larger floral picks that I've got on the board, and now I'm just securing some little smaller pieces of the other floral picks in the open spaces. So basically I've got two large floral picks and two smaller floral picks to make this entire arrangement. And I tried to keep the colors mostly neutral. Hobby Lobby does have different colors of pumpkins in this same stem, so you could check it out. I think you can even look online and see what they have to make sure it fits into your color scheme. And that was it. That was all I had to do. Then I just took my arrangement and put it onto my dining room table just to see what it would look like. I did add a couple of candles. Actually, these are a set of 3 candles that I got on Amazon, and they're really nice because it has a remote control, so you can turn it on and off, and the remote actually works on multiple sets of candles. And I am really happy with this arrangement. And the thing that makes me the most happy is how much I spent. To make this complete arrangement, I spent $35. Now, if I were to go to Pottery Barn, Williams Sonoma, Crate and Barrel, I'm going to spend at least $100 for a floral arrangement like this. Maybe not exactly like this, but similar. But I also wanted to see if I could make a sunflower arrangement. So I already have this Pottery Barn pot, and this was $39.50. That was several years ago. My husband actually bought this for our anniversary. But this is a really pretty pot from Pottery Barn, and for $39.50, that's not horrible. Now, I bought 3 sunflower bushes at Hobby Lobby, and then I cut them into individual stems. So these are all of the stems that were on each of the sunflower bushes. There's a lot of different pieces and components, but by cutting them into individual pieces, I can be a little bit more thoughtful of how I'm going to arrange the flowers. And the sunflowers are just so pretty. They're just beautiful. And to begin with, I just took a bunch of the little individual flower pieces and I loosely tied them together with a piece of jute twine. I didn't want to make the jute super tight because I do want this to be a little bit looser so I can put the other individual stems and just kind of tuck them down into the arrangement. So there's my arrangement. I am going to start with that, and I'm just going to put that into the pot. I don't have any styrofoam or floral foam in the pot, just this bundle of flowers. And now I'm just going to come back with the individual pieces and I'm just going to tuck them down into the pot. And I couldn't find anything like similar to this on Pottery Barn, Williams-Sonoma, or Crate & Barrel. The closest I could come was to a floral arrangement with all of the individual stems on Crate & Barrel, and it was over $700. That is just way too much money. For me, there's no way I could ever afford to spend that much money on flowers. But if you can, hey, by all means, go for it. But for me, I like to be a little bit more frugal while I still like to make new things for the holidays that I can bring into my house that look beautiful. And by taking the individual stems and just tucking them into the pot, I really like how this looks. So I added some of the sunflowers and then I came back with just some of the leaves and the acorns and I just stuck those down into the arrangement. And I didn't want everything to be perfect just coming out of the top, so I did take a couple of the sunflowers and have them droop down just a little bit around the sides. And you can't see it from this perspective of the video, but I do have a mirror and I'm actually using that mirror to see how the back side of the arrangement looks while I'm continuing to add the flowers to the arrangement. Now, just because you have all of the flowers doesn't mean you necessarily have to use them. So I have these that are extra, so I'm not going to be using them in my sunflower arrangement. I'm going to save those for something else. And now all I have to do is put the flower arrangement where it's going to live, which is close to my front door, and that is pretty much it. How easy was that? Isn't that beautiful? I love the way both of these arrangements turned out. The sunflowers, the entire arrangement cost me around $35. So that was 3 of the sunflower bushes that they have at Hobby Lobby. And I just cut individual stems and then put them into a pot that I already had. I think this looks lovely by my front door and definitely screams fall. And it was also about the same cost for the centerpiece that I made for my dining room table. 2 of the larger picks that have the pumpkins as well as 2 of the smaller picks. And again, I spent around $35. So for less than $100, I was able to make 2 beautiful floral arrangements that not only can I use this year, but I can use year after year. So I was able to make these 2 arrangements for less than it would have cost me to get one if I went to one of the higher end stores. And you know what? I think they look really nice and I'm really happy that I decided to do this. Have you ever created something like this? Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of these floral arrangements, or if you would consider doing something like this, or if you would just prefer to have someone else make these for you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. And be sure to keep on crafting.